Hi everyone, it's Rosie here. Happy Thursday. I hope you're all having a fabulous day. I think spring is really here. I think. Hopefully I haven't jinxed it by saying that out loud. How's everyone doing? It is a wonderful day today. Super thrilled to hang out with you guys for a little bit. We're going to look at some foil, talk about the foils you might have in your stash. I dug through mine. I have quite a bit of different foils and a little bit of an, well, I don't know if update is the right word. I think if you're following us on Facebook, you've seen that we are having an online crop in the Scrap Shots paper crafting group tomorrow for International Scrapbook Day. So this is the first International Scrapbook Day in quite a while that we are not in Edmonton at Carnival. So the team thought it would be fun to throw together some challenges. So that is kicking off tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. with the first challenge. Yeah, it should be lots of fun. I've seen the challenges. They're fantastic. And there is also a $50 gift certificate up for grabs to the store as the grand prize. So when you submit your projects after the crop is finished, and I think we're going to leave it open until 11:59 Mountain Standard Time, Sunday, that's the 3rd, to get your projects submitted. And then, yeah, I'll be drawing the winner via random number generator. So hopefully you have some time. I know there's lots going on for International Scrapbook Day, so hopefully you have some time to come and play along with us. Awesome. So I'll kind of go over that again near the end, just for those who maybe join a little bit later. But let's get started. So I've got this very cool, it's called Foil Relief Paste from Altenew. Now I did check the store. It does not appear to be in the store, so I'm not sure if it hasn't made it there yet or if we are sold out, but no worries. Sandy puts in a regular Altenew order. So if this is something you like what you see as you see me playing with this and you want to get your hands on some, just comment in the comments that I'm not sure. Just say interested in foil relief paste, something like that. And then we'll make sure that we connect you with Sandy and we'll get you hooked up with that. But what exactly is this stuff and how does it compare with what you might have of another brand in your stash? So I did a little playing around with this. I don't know if you guys recall, back in the day, we had the Deco Foil. Hi, Marlo. Yeah, the challenges are really fun. And the challenges are really great ones. Like you can play along super, super easily. We didn't get to, you don't need like special things you have to go out and find to play along with the challenges. Okay, fabulous. All right, so welcome everyone who's popping in. So our traditional Deco Foil transfer gel, that's what this guy is called. And this one, it's got a two-way use, so you can use it with heat or no heat. But the thing to remember, if you do have this in your stash, you need to use it with a foil that works like a toner foil. Okay, so if you've got these little guys, this Deco Foil in the tubes, like a mink, if you have any of this stuff left in your stash, okay, this is the type of foil, the reactive foil that reacts with toner, that you would use with this particular transfer gel. Now, so what makes this one from Altenew different? Well, I'm going to show you. So, I'm just going to open this up so you can take a look here. we can look here. So it dries clear and it dries quite tacky. So we'll kind of go over how this works. But essentially this gel, you can use this gel with your toner reactive foil or your glimmer foil. So if you have any of the, you know, maybe you used to have a mink machine, but it broke, or you just got rid of it because you don't use it, but you do still have some of the foils, you will be able to use this relief paste with those foils. So I'll show you that in a second, but let me just show you how easy this goes on. So why would you want to use this paste? Maybe you've got a stencil that you really, really love and you'd love to kind of add some foil to it. So I've gone ahead and I've stenciled a white piece of cardstock already. And see, I'll just tip that here. You can see when it dries, it's shiny and it's quite tacky. Okay. So you can use the foil through your favorite stencils if you want to kind of create a foiled version, and we'll add the foil there in a sec. Or you can use just a solid piece of cardstock. And if you've got any scraps of foil, so maybe little pieces that you want to use, or you want to do a custom sentiment, foiled sentiment, we can just apply this paste in kind of a nice little thin layer. Oh, the deco foil, I never use it. You definitely can use it, Marlo, with this particular product. For sure, you can make use of it with that. If you like paste or you want to go down that rabbit hole. Otherwise, you could experiment with double-sided tape. Like if you have double-sided adhesive sheets, you may be able to use those with your foil as well. I haven't actually tried it with these, but it might work. Okay, so what I'm going to do to kind of spread a little thin layer of this is I've got my Simon Hurley paste tool. And this comes in a set with two of kind of these larger scraper tools and a palette knife, but I have this little guy from Nuvo in my stash, so I thought I'd get him out. So I'm just going to add the paste along the edge here. And then I'm going to take my scraper tool and just kind of tip it down. And you can see that just, I'll hold it up here, that kind of slides a nice little layer. It's got a little bit of texture to it, but that's okay. Because if we're going to die cut out of this, it's not really a big deal. All right, so, and I'm just putting this on some scrap paper so I don't have to waste time trying to clean off my work surface. Like literally scrap paper. You know when sometimes you send things to your printer and you thought you only wanted one copy, but it gives you 5? This is what I do with those extra pieces. So I just want to make sure I get it all the way to the edge because I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. So super easy to apply. Okay, and then what's left, we'll just pop that back in the jar. Okay, and then I just added a little bit of kind of, I cut a piece of, oh, what's this stuff called? It's the 3M kind of saran, but the one that you just kind of reuse. How do I not remember that name? I gotta look at the box. Press and seal. It's this stuff, press and seal. And I use it on all my pastes. It just keeps them from drying out. All right, and a quick wipe up of my tools. Of course, the wipes aren't right next to me, and that just wipes right off. Okay, and then you're going to set this aside to dry. Okay, so I've pre-done a few. Hello, everyone popping in. Yesterday, I'm just going to pull this off my paper because otherwise it'll be stuck. To set this aside to dry. All right. Just throwing it on the floor behind me. I have to make sure I don't accidentally step on it. Okay, and then I'm just gonna pitch out my scrap paper because it's got sticky stuff all over it. We'll get rid of that. All right, so let me bring in the ones I did yesterday. So it's hard to, you can see that little sheen. So that's the paste when it's dry. And it is quite tacky. Okay. So maybe what we'll do first is we'll do this guy, the one that I used this stencil with. And so this is from the Sizzix line with Vicky Booten. It's called, I believe it's Background Buildables, something like that. And these are really large stencils, so it's a 4-pack. And you get, there's hearts and whatever pattern we call that, funky circles number 2. That's my name for it. Hello, Kathy. Okay. And so I'm going to take a piece of, this is the deco foil. Okay, and so this is the foil that you would either use with toner. Okay, so like something that's got a toner print on it, or you would use this Transfer Gel Duo. Okay, but we're using the Altenew Foil Relief Paste. So so because this is quite tacky, you want to make sure it's a one and done. So once you get this down, wherever it sits is where it's going to stay. So I'm going to pop that on top. And then we're just going to rub it on with my fingers. Okay. And I can always just give it a little peel to make sure it's sticking down. Or what you could do is run it through your die cut machine as well, just with your regular sandwich, and let that even pressure. I did do kind of a test with that as well. But if you don't have a die cut machine, this works just as well. So you can see that that foil starts to stick. And I just want to make sure I've got it. It's getting all the pieces. So really, really simple. Okay, I think we're about ready for the reveal. Let's see. Can still go on a little bit more. All right. So let's peel that off. Okay, and so the foil is going to, as even an application as you can get. That's going to give you an even look on your foil after. That didn't really make any sense the way I said that. But we're going to go through here and peel that off. So with a nice even application of your paste, then you're going to get, your foil is going to stick evenly as well. You can see where I may have had a few little areas where I didn't get the foil or the paste quite as smooth. But play around with it and that'll come with time. All right. But there's that beautiful, now we've got a foiled panel. I actually don't mind the few areas that the foil didn't stick. I think that gives it kind of a distressed look, but super, super easy. So no heat required, no extra pressure required unless you want to kind of get it down, get it on a little more quickly in one pass, but love, 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 love. Okay, so that's using that paste through a stencil. And now this piece as well, I can reuse this. So that piece of paper we did earlier with just the foil or with just the paste on it, using our paste tool, we can go over that with this. but I'm going to do that with a different leftover I have. So this is a leftover I have from a plate that I foiled. So with the glimmer machine, the hot foil machine. So I just want to show you that with this different foil as well, with the hot foil, this paste will work as well with that. So I'm going to try my best to get this on somewhat straight. If not, I'm not going to stress about it. Okay. And so this is a piece of cardstock that we coated completely with that foil relief paste. So I'm actually going to grab I'm going to just take this back to my die cut machine and run this through in one pass. So it's just behind me here, so bear with me. I'll be back in a moment. It's hard to get it all on camera. All right. Whoops. Dropped a plate. So I'm just going to roll this through. Oh, except it's not friendly die cut machine. You are being very unfriendly at the moment. There we go. All right. You're going to roll that through. You really don't need to roll it through your die cut machine, but I wanted to get as even pressure as possible. All right, so let's peel this guy off. So you can hear that as the foil sticks to the machine, or sorry, the foil sticks to the paste. So it's a little spotty, but that's just because my paste application wasn't super smooth. But I can die cut this out, which is what I will do. And then here my plan is to kind of die cut that portion out and then use this little poppy. Or I could come over and kind of experiment with maybe inking over top, but I'm not sure how well that would work here because of the sticky stuff, but super, super easy. So once you kind of get the hang of getting a nice smooth application of your paste, then you will find that you'll get a nice smooth transfer of this foil as well. But I don't hate this. I think this is a great kind of distressed background, I'll call it. We'll be able to do something with that. Okay, so let's say I'm going to bring in a card here that I started working on, but I want to kind of create a die cut sentiment that is going to coordinate with this. So yesterday I went and I inked this with the Altenew. This is in the Aqua Island Fresh Dye ink. So the mint chocolate is top here and this bottom part is pool. And then we've used one of these, that Sizzix stencil, I didn't know what we should call it, this guy, to create that lovely background. But I've got this mint foil in my stash here, so I think what I'm going to do is cut a piece off here. And now, hopefully this works with this too. This is the Heidi Swapp mink foil that I kind of have a leftover of. So we're going to pop that down on here where we've put our paste. Now this is an experiment here because I haven't tried this foil. I tried the Deco foil. I tried the Spellbinders foil, the Glimmer foil, which worked great with this paste. So maybe what I'll do, where did I put my scraper tool? There it is. Maybe we'll just go over the top here and kind of roll that on here. Okay. Now you can kind of see as the top of the foil starts to transfer. So we're not going to get as good a transfer with this, but that's okay. just gonna kind of scrape that on. All right. So it's a little spotty, but that's more user. Okay. So this is with the mink foil, which I don't think transfers as good. Let's grab one of the deco foils. I'm going to try this guy. This time I'm just kind of showing you for comparison purposes. All right. So again, you're going to get, all depending on how thick, I would say, you make your application, and even. So what I would suggest using this is you definitely want to have a thicker application, especially if you're using it, you're going to die cut sentiments. So I probably should have prepped a few more with varying thicknesses, but we'll be able to get the foil transfer, and then I'll kind of show you what this looks like. Out of one I did yesterday, but I clearly made the foil a bit thicker, or pardon me, the paste. But it's all part of experimenting. Okay. So again, a little patchy, but I can feel right here that that isn't quite as sticky as it was over here. Okay, but when you get the thickness of the paste at the right level, here's a die cut I did with this foil yesterday. So you can see I got a much nicer application. I was probably not quite as impatient, and then we die cut that here. Okay, but let's make this guy work. I'm going to make it work. I think this would be an interesting experiment. So I'm still going to die cut my word that I want to use, or my sentiment, even though my foil's a little patchy. And again, that's mostly user error, not anything to do with the product. I'm just going to grab my die cut machine. We're going to bring in our little buddy, the Scout. It's always fun to play with, and he works perfectly. With these sentiments. So I've got the Altenew Timeless Sentiments 2. Great set. One can never have too many sentiment dies, in my opinion. They're all a little different. But we're going to use my, didn't quite foil the way I wanted it to. And again, that's mostly user error, but I'm going to make it work. I think it'll still look beautiful. And then I'm using the shadow die as well. I'm going to run that through here. Now, I usually don't use tape, but I feel like I need to use just a smidgy of tape here. Just on this guy, so he stays in that spot. Because I have a habit, I actually usually don't use any adhesive, and then sometimes it's dangerous. You run it through, and the next thing you know, it hasn't cut the way you planned. Okay. So let's run this through. That's kind of sticking to the top. All right. Make sure that's on the base. Yep. All right. And we'll get that through. Don't worry about that cracking. It's normal. All right. Now, I suppose what might work as well is you could apply paste. You could die cut your word and then apply a layer of paste all over it. I might have to try that after. And then the foil on top so you get a nice I actually don't mind that. It looks kind of vintagey, even though it's a bit uneven. Kind of looks, definitely looks vintagey. Okay. Tweezers, where did my tweezers go? This might work. I got my nails done last week, which I don't often do. And while they're pretty, it's kind of a pain with crafting because I can't pick up those little tiny pieces of paper. Okay. So I'm going to come in, because my application was a little uneven, I'm going to come in with this mint chocolate and just kind of fill in where that's lighter. And I'm going to use one of these Pink Fresh Studio mini blending brushes. And we're just gonna kind of add a little bit of color over that. I might want to go in with a darker color actually, because it would give it kind of a fun ombre. Let's use the pool instead. I think that would be fun. In fact, it might actually be easier to do this. Hi, Jenny. Oh yeah, that's much faster. So I'm going to go in here. So if you're just joining in, I'm kind of using the Altenew Foil Relief Paste. So, and I wasn't quite as heavy-handed when I added the paste to my white cardstock for this word or this sentiment. So I'm just adding a bit of ink to kind of fill in. I'm making my sentiments looking a little vintagey. When you get the thickness and the layer of the paste right, this is what your foil application looks like. So nice and solid. Really, really pretty. But, you know, we're crafters, we can make it work. So I'm just gonna grab, let's see, I'll use my little cloth here. Okay, and then I'm gonna just come back over and that will just clean off the ink off the foil so that that's nice and shiny. Ooh, I like that. So we can see it's just like a shabby chic, which I think actually will work really well with this pattern. Okay. So let me grab I die cut the shadow die, or the shadow part of the sentiment. I need to put this in camera, out of some vellum, just so that way you can kind of see that pattern. And look, I just got some ink on my vellum. There we go. I should wipe my hands off better. All right. Grab my tweezers. So let us add some ink here to our sentiment. Just going to use my glue press. Makes it super simple to get a small amount of ink. Really, when you're working with these dies, even the smaller sentiment dies work. It's super easy to get adhesive on them. All right, and then I'm going to line that up. All right. My apologies, I keep moving off camera. I'm just happy that we are the right orientation this week. It was kind of hard coloring sideways last week when Facebook did not like my phone and it wouldn't let me change the camera orientation. It actually wouldn't let me change it this week either. But for some reason, it works on my son's old phone, which is the one I'm using right now. Go figure. Okay. So we're going to just give that a little pat. While I pack up my ink here, that will give that a moment to dry. Normally I would put my stamp block, I have a large stamp block, I'd put that on top to just hold that in place. Okay. So let's set that aside. Okay. And now we're going to be using, this is a layered bloom from the Katie Sue bouquet. Let me look. This guy that I showed you guys last week. Die cut decoupage bumper bouquets. I put all the bouquets together. So we are going to use this guy here. And then I've got a little strip of glitter cardstock. I'm just going to kind of place right here where those two colors meet. And then we'll figure out our card layout. So because those Sizzix stencils are quite large, this is a 5x7. This is going to be on a 5x7 card. So this is a card panel. When I'm doing a 5x7 card, I like to make a panel that I'm going to adhere to the card base itself. It just makes it easier. Okay, and then we'll trim that off. So this panel is just, it's about 1/8, I would say, smaller than a 5x7 card base. So it'll just give it a little border when I add this to the card base. Okay. So now we've got our bloom, and now we have to decide, do I want this to go along the bottom like that at an angle? Would I prefer to have, do we want to have a lot of white space up top here? What do you guys think? Or do I want that a little bit lower and we'll put celebrate up here or celebrate up here? This is actually going to be, have a wedding to go to tomorrow, so this is going to be the card I bring. What do you guys think? I kind of like it down here. I like the idea. I'm liking the white space. You like the angle, Jenny, up here? I like that too. Should I maybe put that more in the center? Kind of like that. What do you guys think? If I was adept at Facebook, I would do a poll. Or do we want that a little bit higher? I don't know. I'm liking it. Or we can angle it at the bottom. Like right like this. Ooh. Honestly, it's not, I'm totally overthinking it. On the bottom? Yeah, I agree. I agree. Let's do the bottom. All right, where's that foam adhesive? Do I need foam adhesive? No. Do I want to use it? Yes. Okay, bringing out my handy dandy Altenew foam adhesive. Okay. Bear with me. Okay, perfect. Sold. That's what we'll do. I probably don't really need to add foam adhesive to this flower because it's so 3D, but I'm going to anyways. This card's going to be hand delivered, so I'm not concerned with the bulk. Ugh! Darn nails. Definitely not practical for this. All right. I'll do those pieces. I think I've said this before. I love this Altenew foam. I know people look at the price and feel a little bit put off by the price. But honestly, it lasts so long. And when you do the price breakdown too, I think per for the amount that you're getting, it's pretty comparable to when you look at the price per foot. And the best thing about it is it's just so easy to work with. The backing peels off super nice. Awesome. Yeah. It's it's just too bad that you can't, retailers can't get kind of a pass on the deals, like when Altenew has a special on them, but they're not, a thin, like a 1 millimeter. Jenny, do you know if anyone makes like a thin foam tape? I think way back when, I don't know if 3M makes any or not. Yeah, there are some times, you're right, Marlo, that it's kind of nice. You'd like to have just maybe not quite as much of the bulk. With these, like with your word dies, for example, you can always die cut them multiple. Because this is vellum, I guess I could have tried it with vellum, but like if the shadow that I used here was like white cardstock, you could die cut, 2 or 3 or 4 layers and then stack them. And then that would kind of give you your custom dimension. I don't know why I put this on and then started cutting it. That's kind of dumb. Okay, we're going to call that good enough. Otherwise, we'll be here forever watching me cut teeny pieces of foam adhesive, because I'm like, I don't want to waste them. And then we'll just put a few on here. Ooh, did I cut that too long? Nope. Just so it's stable. Okay. Oh, yeah. No, I agree with you as well, Marlo, about shopping local. And sometimes the shipping, depending what it is just a pain for the pricing. I think we've all had times where we've gone, you see something really cute and you go directly to the manufacturer's website, you pop it in your shopping cart, and then you get the shipping quote, and it's like, oh, that's triple the price of what I want to buy. Forget it. Oh, thanks, Jenny, for mentioning that. That's right. Yeah, if we can find a like a name brand, like not a scrapbook.com or Simon Says Stamp, but like a name brand of foam adhesive, that's the thinner, Marlo. We can always see if Sandy can get it in, then she can bring it in for you. Yeah, because that being said, there could be, I don't know if any of the European brands that, might be available at one of the distributors, if they make a thinner foam adhesive. Boy, that was painful, guys. Sorry, making you watch that. This will be easier because my nails won't get in the way. All right. Okay, so I'm going to add some foam adhesive. You're thinking, why on earth would you do that, Rosie? Because you've got foam adhesive, so why would you add liquid adhesive to it? Sorry, I don't think I said that. Just so I can kind of line this up where I want it. So I'm not going to press down on that. I just have it sitting there, and then I'm going to add some on here too. Just so if I have to adjust the positioning of these. Ooh, clear foam tape. Oh, wait. Does Simon Hurley have clear foam tape? I'm feeling like I might have seen that on one of his lives, but now I can't remember. Or am I imagining that? Okay, I'm going to just slide that a little bit down. Oh, I love this. Okay. Fab. And this glitter cardstock is just champagne glitter cardstock from Pink Fresh. I'm going to move that a little bit to the left so it feels somewhat equidistant. Awesome. All right. Ooh, he does he, Lisa? Okay, well, we might have to get Sandy to order some of that in. I think clear foam tape would be awesome. All right, so there we've got kind of, I'm calling it my shabby chic foiling. And now that I think about it, the foil that I used on this has been sitting around in my stash for maybe a decade. So it's entirely possible that you're, depending on the foil you have, you're going to get a better transfer. Okay, so this is using our foil relief paste from Altenew. Again, I did not see it in the shop, but it might just not have been listed yet. And then here's we stenciled with the paste and then applied our foil. Okay, and then this was one of the die cuts. I created this yesterday. And again, that's with just a foil directly onto white cardstock. Oh, I might just put this together. Huh, that'll work. Okay. Yeah, thanks guys. Yeah, they are pretty and they turned out well. So I'm going to add this to my card base after. I might add a few gems on here too, just because it's always nice to make it sparkly for when you're gifting it for a wedding. But that's what I have for you guys. So thanks for hanging out with me. Now, don't forget our online crop, National Scrapbook Day online crop starts tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So tune in to the Scrap Shots paper crafting group. If you're not a member of that group, then just head over there and request to join, complete the questions. And hit submit, and somebody will approve your request, because we'd love to have you craft along with us tomorrow. Again, we've got challenges running all day starting at 9 a.m. and I've seen the challenges, they're fantastic, super easy to do. So if you are working on other projects or you're participating in, everybody's got something going on for NSD. So if you're playing along somewhere else, you'll have plenty of time to play along with us. And we've got a $50 gift certificate to the shop is the grand prize. Yeah, bling is always the right answer. Absolutely, Jenny. Awesome. Well, thanks for hanging out here with me today, guys. And I hope to see you guys in the paper crafting group tomorrow. Can't wait to see your projects and hang out with you there. Yes, exactly. And chatter with us. Absolutely. So have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And yeah, hopefully see you guys bright and early tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. in the Scrap Shots paper crafting group. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye.